This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Romesh Piris and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The Chief Executive Officer of the CSC highlights President Wickramasinghe's concept on capital market clubs for schools is a future investment. Sri Lanka and IMF first EFF review to begin on Thursday. A proposal on compensation for farmers to be presented before the Cabinet over the next 2 weeks. National Dengue Control Unit say dengue cases could increase with the incessant rains experienced in several parts of the country. A 4.6 magnitude earth tremor on the Richter scale has been recorded in the seas of Batticaloa. 54th UNHRC session to commence today. In national news, today marks 22 years since the 9/11 terrorist attack that claimed the lives of more than 3,000 people. Sports news: US Open, Novak Djokovic wins 24th major by beating Daniil Medvedev. The Chief Executive Officer of the Colombo Stock Exchange, Rajiva Bandaranayake, highlighted that President Ranil Wickramasinghe's concept on capital market clubs for schools is a future investment. He further emphasized that President Wickramasinghe has taken a very timely decision to promote financial literacy among the school population, which is the most appropriate group to promote. Bandaranayake expressed these views while participating in a program produced by the Presidential Media Division recently. State Minister of Finance Anisia Patel says officials will commence discussions with a team of the International Monetary Fund on the first review of the extended fund facility arrangement from Thursday. A team from the International Monetary Fund will be in Sri Lanka from September 14th to 27th of this month to conduct the first review of an extended fund facility arrangement. The review will be conducted on the June data. Officials have said Sri Lanka has overachieved key IMF quantitative performance criteria through tax revenues, which is an indicative target has fallen short. Sri Lanka also has met several structural benchmarks, some of which are under World Bank and Asian Development Bank prior actions. The Agriculture Minister's proposal pertaining to obtaining of compensation to farmers whose crops were destroyed due to recent weather conditions is reportedly due to be submitted before the Cabinet over the next 2 weeks. Accordingly, Minister Mahinda Amaravida stated that while the Cabinet proposal pertaining to compensating those farmers whose crops were lost due to the drought and heavy rains has already been prepared, data regarding those farmers who lost their harvest due to the torrential rains are also currently being gathered. Today's broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Next Gen Lifestyle ku set agum digital banking partner People's Bank.
A 4.6 magnitude earth tremor on the Richter scale has been recorded in the seas of Batticaloa. Geological Survey and Mines Bureau say the tremor was reported 310 kilometers off the coast of Batticaloa at around 1:30 a.m. Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, meanwhile, urged the general public not to panic as there is no risk of tsunami following the tremor. The Bureau noted that only quakes magnitude of 6.5 or 7 on the Richter scale pose a potential tsunami threat. It added there is no necessity to panic due to the tremor and requested the public to heed the advice given by experts. Several mild tremors have been reported in Sri Lanka in recent weeks. The 54th session of the Human Rights Council opened in the Palais des Nations in Geneva. The 54th regular session will take place from 11th September 30th of October 2023. Session will open at 10 a.m. today under the presidency of Ambassador of the Czech Republic. The opening will be addressed by the United Nations High Commissioner of Human Rights, Volker Turk. During the session, the Council will hold 29 interactive dialogues with special procedure mandate holders, expert mechanisms, and investigative mechanisms. Reports and oral updates will also be presented on the human rights situation in Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Nicaragua, among other nations. Human Rights Council is an intergovernmental body within the United Nations system made up of 47 states which are responsible for strengthening the promotion and protection of human rights around the globe. That was local news.
Enjoy seamless shopping. Open LCs, settle bills and transfer funds instantly, anywhere and anytime. With People's Bank Digital Solutions, you're empowered to do more and wherever you want. Unlock a world of modern banking conveniences with People's Bank, your next generation digital banking partner. People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The National Dengue Control Unit say the number of dengue cases could increase once again with the return of rains in several parts of the country. Nearly 63,000 dengue cases have been reported in the country thus far in 2023. Number of deaths linked to the dengue currently stands at 38. According to the National Dengue Control Unit, more than 30,000 dengue cases have been confirmed from the Western Province. Meanwhile, around 20% of total dengue cases reported this year are school children. Accordingly, school authorities have been instructed to maintain a clean environment and conduct cleaning activities at least once a week. The Dengue Control Unit emphasized the importance of keeping school premises and the vicinity clean, especially with the increase in the showers in recent days.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight, a special hotline number has been introduced to lodge complaints pertaining to officials of district and divisional secretariats as well as other institutions that come under the purview of the State Ministry of Home Affairs. State Minister of Home Affairs Ashok Priyanka said the public can lodge complaints via 1905 number. A special team led by Additional Secretary has been appointed to address the complaints. State Minister Ashok Priyanka said instructions have been given to investigative officers to promptly address the matters raised by the public. And now on to Bulletin of World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
It's the power to live life your way. The power to be a trendsetter. Power to you with digital banking from Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank. Our interest is in you.
Today marks 22 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks that claimed the lives of more than 3,000 people. Race against time to save survivors buried in rubble in Morocco earthquake. Beatification for Polish family murdered for sheltering Jews. Today marks 22 years since the terror attacks on U.S. soil on the 11th of September 2001. 9 terrorists hijacked 4 planes on that day. 2 planes were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. A 3rd plane hit the Pentagon. A 4th plane crashed in a field in Chautauqua, Pennsylvania. Although 3,000 people died and 25,000 more were injured, communities around the greater Rochester area will be paying tribute to the victims of 9/11 attacks today. So ceremonies and programs have been organized in the U.S. and around the globe to remember the victims of the attacks. Morocco faces a race against time to save those trapped under rubble by Friday's earthquake. The emergency services battled to supply remote areas. Villagers continue to dig by hand and shovel to find survivors as the response teams struggle to bring in machinery. Those same tools may now be needed to prepare graves for some of the thousands killed in the quake. Friday's earthquake, the country's deadliest for more than 60, struck below a remote cluster of mountainous villages south of Marrakesh. The government reported that 2,100 people were killed and more than 2,021 injured, many critically. The beatification mass service has been held in Poland with a family murdered by Nazis for hiding Jews during World War II. Poland's president and more than 30,000 pilgrims attended the outdoor service led by Pope Francis' envoy. This was the first time an entire family has been beatified, a great honor and a step towards sainthood. They were executed in 1944 with the Jews they sheltered in southeastern Poland after they were betrayed. Back to the world news headlines. Today marked 22 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks that claimed the lives of more than 33,000 people. Race against time to save survivors buried in rubble in Morocco earthquake. Beatification to a Polish family murdered for sheltering Jews. That was world news. On development news, cabinet paper related to the handover of a military story multi-story housing complex built to expand residential facilities for female students of the University of Colombo to the university will be presented this week. Housing complex consisting of 144 furnished units was built at Kalingamawat in Narayanpeta by the Urban Development Authority, Colombo. The complex can accommodate about 800 students. Each 150 square meter apartment contains 2 bedrooms that can accommodate 4 female students, a study, lobby area, a pantry, a washroom and a balcony. All apartments are adorned with curtains and provided with many amenities. Common areas for studying, recreation with a TV lounge and a community center and a cafeteria are available. Residential housing units are provided to the University of Colombo under a free grant. And on to sports news. US Open 2023, Novak Djokovic won a record equaling 20-foot Grand Slam singles title by outlasting Daniil Medvedev in a punishing US Open final in New York. 30-year-old SEP won 6-3, 7-6, 7-5, 6-3, but the straight set scoreline does not reveal how deep he dug to dig. A comfortable opening set was followed by a brutal second which lasted 1 hour and 44 minutes. After the pair exchanged breaks early in the third, Djokovic took control to level Margaret Court's 50-year record. Djokovic, who surpassed Rafael Nadal's previous record tally of 22 men's major titles earlier this year, has matched Australia's court at the second attempt after losing the Wimbledon final in July. He has won 3 of the Grand Slam titles in 2023, becoming the first man to achieve this feat on 4 occasions. That was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A billion-rupee project to clean up the Beira Lake had got off the ground with a foreign partner on the project, Greppo Private Limited, already installing machinery to clean up the lake. CEO of Greppo Private Limited, Masasi Onsus, told journalists that his company will use nanobubble technology to clean up the Beira Lake. Senior Presidential Advisor Ashimara Singh, who has negotiated the Japanese company, said total cost of the project will be 1 billion rupees. The cleanup will take 6 months to complete. Singh added that the government expects to fulfill support from more than 50 companies which dispose of waste into the Beira Lake. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce has once again raised concerns about the move to abolish the Simplified Value-Added Tax or SVAT system. CCC is of the view that the termination of the system will have a major bearing on the export industry and therefore it has urged the government to consider the decision. Last month, the Cabinet Ministers cleared an amendment to the Value-Added Tax Act to abolish SVAT, a scheme given to exporters to avoid delays in VAT refunds. The Attorney General approved the amendment and the Cabinet approved the proposed gazette to the bill. However, exporters highlighted the negative impact of the proposal, which will also have its bearing on the import of raw materials. The decision to abolish the SVAT scheme, with effect from the 1st of January 2024, is a part of the reforms agreed at the Extended Fund Facility by the International Monetary Fund. That is economic news, and on to the weather report.
Weather report.
Met Department predicts showers and showers in western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces in the Kandy, Nuwara, God and Mathura districts today. Met Department said fairly heavy showers about 20 meters are likely in some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and the Puttalam, God and Mathura districts. It had a few showers may occur in the Mana, Vauni and Radhapura and Hamad districts as well. Meanwhile, thundershowers have also been predicted in the Uva province and in the Batticaloa, Ampara districts till the evening or night. Weather Bureau said fairly strong winds of up to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected sometimes on the western slopes of Central Hills, northern, north central and northwestern provinces, and in the Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. The public has been requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Back to the headlines of the new Chief Executive Officer of the CSE highlights President Wickramasinghe's concept on capital market clubs for schools is a future investment. Sri Lanka and IMF first EFF review to begin on Thursday. Proposal on compensations for farmers to be presented before the Cabinet over the next 2 weeks. National Dengue Control Unit said dengue cases could increase with incessant rains experienced in several parts of the country. A 4.6 magnitude earth tremor on the Richter scale has been recorded in the seas of Batticaloa. 54th UNHRC session to commence today. World News today marked 22 years since the 9/11 terrorist attack that claimed the lives of more than 3,000 people. Sports. US Open. Novak Djokovic wins 24th major by beating Daniil Medvedev. And with that we end the local news.